RPG 그대로의 RPG 불멸의 전사 2.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pro League. We got me, Valdez, GTR, and Ryung bringing you the games tonight.
Yeah, we're going to give you the interim findings for our matchup between KT and MVP, as we see here, 1-1, tied up between these two teams.
The name is actually interim findings.
You never realized
I thought you just said that right now. I'm like, that's an interesting way to say it, but I guess if you want to, GTR.
But yeah, TY wrecking Departure. If you want to see Terrence absolutely wreck Zergs, I suggest a game else skip it. And Gumiho defending from a proxy attack from Jukji there. And our next two games will be Zest versus Ryung and Stats versus Blaze.
Yeah, Zest needs his own arrow at this point, that upwards red arrow.
Like
it's got to be something else, yeah. That would be nice, actually. It's like, we don't even need to describe what his form is. He's just Z. It just means he's the best. Maybe give him a B instead. Or ZB, I'm not even sure. But he's the best player in the world right now. I don't think there's any real arguing with it. I think even if Zest versus Dark go head-to-head, I think Zest would win that too.
Yeah, we'll see that in the super match in the next couple of weeks that we'll have over at the freaking studio. So
that is sick. I just remember that. Thank you so much for giving me that wonderful moment, GTR. Reminding me about that awesome match. The cross finals, of course, between SSL and GSL will have one for both seasons.
I can't tell if Ryung is purposely wearing his earmuffs like that, or is just gonna put it on when the game starts.
He's not allowed to, to keep it open, obviously, because
it's a fashion statement.
Yeah.
But
it's like angsty against the Kesper refs. He's like, I've had enough of this.
But
I can do what I want.
I was mentioning before we had to go to our 3-minute break is that did we think Zest would have gone out with his teammates to have some fun last night, or would he have gone back home to practice for his Pro League match? And I think, and I'm pretty sure that they had a lot of fun last night, because Zest PvT, it's so stock standard. He has maybe 2 or 3 builds that he always does in the matchup. He either goes Dark Templars or he goes for a depth speed. And it just works so well that I don't think we'll be seeing him deviate from that.
Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about is exactly the reason why his Pentagon is really flat. His tactics is not that high. But yeah, I mean, even if he did go out, I have the utmost confidence in this guy to take an easy win over Ryung. People from the casters have voted for Ryung here. I think that's a really, really, really risky prediction.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't any of us foreign casters.
Yeah, we're all kind of on the same level today.
Is Kanata wanting to pay everyone dinner or something? He's like got all these wild guesses, but
he's a little bit behind. Maybe he's going for some risky picks that he knows everybody else will vote for other things. It's definitely an interesting strategy if things go his way, for sure. But again, this is Pro League. Really anything could happen. I feel like this is one of the matches, though, where the likelihood of something crazy happening is pretty low.
Yeah, it feels like Terran vs. Protoss is one of those matches where, as a Terran, it's very hard to cheese out your opponent, I guess, if that makes sense. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we saw Reality beat Classic with that proxy Medivac play.
Yeah.
So
map is going to be Dusk Towers.
Yeah, very standard map.
Yeah, very standard, straightforward, defensive 2-player map. So I feel like this definitely does favor Zest, where you can kind of play a standard game, right, and just outplay Ryung in a longer one. Well, and just be safe against anything that Ryung will throw at him.
We saw yesterday on Dust Towers that TY did beat Zest, but it was mainly because of how well TY out-multitasks Zest.
Yeah.
Ryung is no way like TY, so I highly doubt that Ryung can beat Zest in that manner. So.
I'm agreeing with you. I mean, he's getting better and better these days, but can he defeat the recent GSL champion? Let's find out in game number 3. Down here in the bottom left, the Protoss player, recent champion, Mr. Zest.
And spawning here at the top side of Dust Towers in the light blue, former Axiom member, Ryung. And talking about Ryung in TVP, I vividly remember how he played against SOS on this map. He tried to rush for Liberator range, and SOS, I'm thinking about it, I'm just laughing right now. SOS went for the massive depths with the Warp Prism, and it was quite a sad game to watch actually, how much SOS just bent Ryung over.
That's an interesting way to put it, GTR.
But hopefully Ryung can make amends for his loss and provide a much closer game. But he is playing against Zest, so yeah, it's like I'm not sure if Ryung can make amends.
Yeah, just to echo your statement, like if I were Ryung and if I were a Terran player right now, and I just see this guy defeat the best Terran player in the world 4-2. And make it look decently easy, you know? I wouldn't be playing a standard game. I wouldn't care about the map. I'm like, I'm doing something. I don't know what it is. Unless it's like a very specific prepared build, like a 2-base timing or whatever. If it's not something like that, I would probably cheese. I don't know. Just, speaking for myself here.
Yeah, I would definitely not be doing the standard builds that the Terrans do on this map, which is generally going for that really quick third command center, and then adding the 2 barracks behind it, getting those upgrades up. I definitely would not be trying to do that against Zest, because Zest has probably played against that 901 times.
Well, we're going to see a quicker second racks at least. Wants to get a decent amount of units out here, possibly a faster stim. He's making a reactor here on his first racks, and going to, no doubt, make a tech lab on that second one, start getting those upgrades out pretty fast.
Yeah, we're seeing a trend as of late of Terran players after that expanding command center to add that second barracks before going for any higher tech, getting the factory up. It just allows them to get Marines out in the case of any sort of Protoss shenanigans. As we see, actually here is going to go for the factory rather than going for the second command zone. Note the placement of that factory, not by the reactor, so he doesn't want to lift that barracks up. He wants to use that barracks to get double Marines from the reactor. Yeah,
generally you wouldn't put the factory that far away unless you want to hide it, I suppose. Like it's going to be slower for your factory units to come out. And as you said, it can't really swap with any add-ons nearby, so it's going to be interesting to see how this build fleshes out for the Terran player.
Yeah, and as expected, we see the Robotics Facility and the Twilight Council here from Zest. No surprises here from him, as Ryung is getting stim as well. So we're actually really curious to see what okay, he's going to get a Widow Mine for this. Probably for that War Prism that's coming in the next couple minutes from Zest.
Yeah, looks like he wants to send out an SCV to do some extra scouting. Gonna put down a supply depot down there just to spot any Warp Prism shenanigans. Being very safe right now is Ryung.
Yeah, Ryung's trying to scout every corner of the map right now with that Reaper, but it's not really gonna see anything. Zest, did Zest even scout? I don't think Zest even bothered to scout. He's just gonna work off what he has inside of his base.
He's like, yeah, whatever. I know this matchup too well. I can just feel what he's doing.
Yeah, like he's just going to use that observer to make sure everything is going a-okay for him. And Zest taking that third base.
Wings of Liberty here. Just wait until that first observer to know what's going on. Yeah, third base coming down here. Zest also playing quite safe outside of the lack of scouting. Going for Blink here. Going to use that to stop any drops, of course. Could put on a bit of pressure if he wants. But only 2 observers, not overmaking observers. Sometimes you see on a map this big, lots of observers, sometimes even like 3, 4, or even 5. They want to get really, really safe. But it looks like he wants to get a quicker Warp Prism first.
Yeah, as we like to call here, the rain style of playing Protoss is to have observers flood every nook and cranny around the map. But it looks like Zest here is just going to use that gas that he's not investing into the extra observers. He's just going to invest it into getting his tech out as soon as possible. And looks like he's not going to go for the Dark Templar tech this game. He's going to go for the Blink Stalkers with that War Prism. And we saw this yesterday, how he's getting the War Prism with the Blink Stalkers. We'll see how well he can use those Blink Stalkers with that War Prism. Nice snipe there from Ryung, taking out that observer with no more vision.
Yeah, good work there. Zest did get a chance to see exactly how many Marines are already out and should be able to, guess the build and how those buildings exactly came up here. But look at this. He's preparing for an ambush.
Oh, man. And
the Adept is going to scout, and he's going to try to blink underneath these medevacs here.
Okay, wait for it. Oh. Wait for it. Now
he's lost the boost, and there we go. He snipes one medevac and just goes for the second one here. And now it looks like he'll just try to blink against these Marines, and that is a huge win for Zest in this game. He's dancing in front of the Marines.
Oh, man.
This guy.
We have another drop here coming down the map, though, for Ryung. So, obviously, Zest has no time to dance for this drop, as it is going to fly past undetected until it gets to those observers, at least on the right side.
Zest knows he's skilled a lot of units. He's got the Mothership Core back at home, and he's just going to go aggressive from here. Look at the main of Ryung. There's nothing there. And as long as he can defend the main, an immediate overcharge.
Oh, he snipes the Widow Mine as well. That's huge.
He's got more energy where that's from. Drop coming down into the back, and he is going to bust the front with this many Blink Stalkers easily.
There's another drop coming onto the left side of the map, but notice on the mini-map there's so many observers placed here from Zest, and he's just got vision of every bit of the map where Ryung could possibly drop in. And look at this Stalker micro here. It's going to die eventually, but I think this damage to the infrastructure of Ryung is just going to be too much here for him.
Yeah. Ryung doesn't even have his third command center landed. It is morphing into an Orbula at this point, and Stim is done, and that is a decent amount of bio, but more and more Stalkers coming up here. Looks like Zest is just going to regroup. Finally, this drop has been cleaned up.
Yeah, but that being said, Liberator is sitting there at the back expansion of Zest, and until he gets a pylon overcharge or a Warping of Stalkers, he won't be able to clear that Liberator out.
Yeah, and look at this. One Marine causing a lot of havoc for all these probes. Wow. The Marine gets a lot of kills there. Good job.
Reassessing the situation that we have right now, it is 39 workers for Ryung, 58 for Zest. So Ryung's not completely out of this, but I got to hark back to what Zest is doing with these observers. He's got like observers everywhere, and it's going to easily shut down the drop play that Ryung wants to continue in this game.
Yeah, very well planned out build from Zest. He's continuing to harass with Blink Stalkers. It used to be a lot harder with the Warp Prism, but now that it can pick up from very far away, you can always blink back to safety. You get like that extra range on the Warp Prism, right? And it looks like he's going to try to go for a follow-up attack here. He did add like 5 more gates or something ridiculous. He's up to 8 warp gates now. Oh,
as long as Zest denies his third base, he should be happy, because he doesn't want Ryung moving down to this ramp. It looks like he's actually given Ryung the chance to come down to the ramp. Is he going to snipe the Warp Prism? No, he doesn't. Oh, he actually does, and the Warp is cancelled, but this Stalker is doing so much damage.
Yeah, and Zest is like, yeah, I've got enough. I can fight against you. It's not going to be the cleanest trade in the world. He's going to focus on a lot of these, but look at this. Another warp in of Zealots should be more than enough to deal with these Marauders.
Yeah, there's no way that Ryung can expand down to that third base with that orbital that's floating. And this might be it. These Zealots are just so tanky to these Marauders.
Zest is just once again outclassing another Terran here. Really making it look easy against Ryung in this game. All these Marauders are going to be focused down, more and more stuff making its way across the map, and still no third command center landed here for Ryung.
Yeah, I mean, Zest has just got Ryung in a nice grip hold, and Liberator is trying to push down to help assist with this defense here, but Ryung just has no bio units to deal with this Stalker army.
Time Warp coming down here, more and more blinks here from Zest, and that should be it. Another medevac does get a focus there. Looks like he selected his entire army. 3 observers are fighting with him.
The great F2 observer army is evident here from Zest, but it doesn't even matter. He's warping in the face of Ryung and
going up and down into the Warp Prism too. Ryung still wants to fight, but that is the end of the game. Zest is going to win this game. GG.
GG.
Well, there you have it. Zest, nothing changed from yesterday. Facing an opponent's not quite as good as TY, even making it look pretty easy. Love the snipe on the medevacs in the middle of the map. He scouted with this observer exactly what the build was, and he's like, oh, you're doing a double drop. I've already got Blink. I was very safe. I focused it down. That's it.
I mean, Zest read Ryung like a children's book there. And especially with those nicely placed observers around the bases of Zest, he was able to snip out the rest of the drops that Ryung was trying to do, and once he lost all those medibacks, he lost the bulk of his army. There was nothing that Zest could do to lose the game.
Yeah. Things kind of going as we expected it so far. TY and Zest taking wins for KT. Meanwhile, Gumio was able to take out Jokji.
That's another sign from yesterday's GSL. With Zest, go Zest. Honestly, I would have preferred Zest is best, but...
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're like, oh, that meme is already done. Let's move on to a new one.
That's not a short meme, though.
This is not
even a meme.
Not very dank at all.
I'm sorry, Korea. You're not dank enough for us.
Ryung, you can see, kind of having a hard time dealing with that loss. That's not an easy way to lose that game for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of things went very wrong for Ryung in that one.
Yeah, it feels like Ryung is just wondering like how he got solved so hard there from Zest. But our next game will be Stats against Blaze. Blaze, you know, one of those players that is always never going to win a Code S in my opinion. He's been around for quite a long time. And he's up against Stats, the SSL semi-finalist. Not semi-finalist, runner-up, I should say. So, yeah, I think he's very favored in this match, Stats.
Yeah. KT as a team as a whole, now that I think about it, they've got one individual league winner and two runner-ups, right? They've got TY and Stats. So it's like they're three big guys,
will be
right?
3 KT players and Dark from SKT. As far as I know, the way that the cross finals is going to match up is that it's going to be the winner against the runner-up. So it will be Dark against TY.
Oh,
and then
I thought it would just be the finalists going head-to-head.
No, it's 4 players. So it would be Dark versus TY, and then Stats versus Zest. And then they'll do the Archon matches of the 2 SSL finalists and the 2 GSL finalists, which would be really funny because I feel sorry for Stats and Zest, Stats and Dark.
Yeah,
in that case.
Zest and TY, I think, should be able to take that one.
Yeah.
Stats is, he's a great player, but I feel like the other 3 of them are kind of on a different level. Like, they're kind of all the best of their own race, and they've sort of separated themselves from the pack of even, like, the highest tier players.